Hi, ghoul friends, and happy Halloween. Welcome to Haunted History, and I am your spooky host, Manda K. And I usually take you ghouls on a haunted tour. Well, we're going somewhere, but it's to talk about a spooky person like myself, but way more iconic than me. And since it's spooky season, why not the voodoo queen herself, Madame Marie LaVeau? That's right, we're headed to New Orleans to meet this mythical woman of our historical past. The spooks are calling. Can you hear them? Now, Marie Catherine LaVeau was born September 10th of 1801. She was Louisiana Creole, and she was beautiful throughout her whole life. She was raised by her grandmother and mother, for she never knew who her father was. There's no record of him anywhere either, and not much is said about her childhood. I mean, she grew up in the most amazing city, New Orleans. And in 1819, Marie married Jacques Paris. The couple went on to have 2 daughters, but they both died in childbirth. Then in 1822, her husband, who was a carpenter in New Orleans, ended up disappearing. It's believed he died, but it's all a mystery. And can you imagine what rumors were swirling or the speculations as to what happened to him? I mean, Marie ended up being referred to as the widow of Paris, but I bet she had to earn others' respect, which she did end up doing later. But she did start another scandal. Before that, she started a long-term relationship with a French nobleman named Christopher Dominique Dumay de Glampin. But they never married. They went on to have 7 children, but only 2 survived to adulthood. Now, I couldn't find anything on how her children passed or when they passed, but my personal opinion, but this may have been the start and how she got pushed into voodoo and her becoming a voodoo priestess. It's just my opinion, not actual facts. But to me, it would make sense to try and find answers. In the year of 1878, there was a yellow fever epidemic throughout the South, and Marie LaVeau would help care for the sick by providing herbal remedies she made. Now imagine her courage and bravery to be out and about helping those who are so sick. This really makes me proud of our nurses and doctors for what we just went through in 2020. And it's true, not all heroes wear capes. It is also said she visited prisoners in prison who are facing death charges. This is where another rumor comes in, that she gave the prisoners poison to end their suffering in a less painful way. Now, I can see the tipping scale to why this may be probable, because prison life back in the 1800s, especially in Louisiana, were not pleasant, especially if it was the old parish prison. And this is how I think she ended up earning the community's respect, or maybe their hidden fear. Now, Madame Marie LaVeau owned her own beauty shop. Her clientele was mostly wealthy women of New Orleans, and this is where it gets interesting. Many of her clients not only needed a new hairdo, but they also needed a little voodoo. Marie would listen to all their woes, and she knew how to conjure a cure. A cheating husband, she could handle that. Need a little romance? She had a love potion that could set the notion. Women would often leave her shop not only looking great, but feeling confident with a little package or charm of gris-gris. Now, what is gris-gris? I'd be happy to tell you. Gris-gris is a charm or amulet and a little pouch or worn to protect the person. I believe it is rumored not only people visited her shop, but they came to her house on St. Anne Street in search of her remedies to whatever ailed them. Her potions and lotions were well known throughout New Orleans, and Marie LaVeau's name and her history are surrounded by legend and lore. On June 17th of 1881, Marie passed away peacefully in her home at the age of 79. She was laid to rest in St. Louis Cemetery No. 1, and her resting place has been visited, wished over for her to still grant them their wishes, even vandalized. And for this reason, it's no longer made public without a purchase of a ticket to visit. People can still walk past her home though, but you have to be very respectful and leave gree-gree, but be careful, her house is haunted. People trust in her potions to this day, and her voodoo shop still exists in the French Quarter. I'm proof. Now, if you go north on Rampart Street at the edge of the French Quarter, now known as Armstrong Park, you will come upon Congo Square. It's said the music that was heard here in Congo Square may have been the inspiration of jazz. And this place is well known for voodoo rituals in the 1800s, probably practiced by the voodoo queen herself, Marie LaVeau. Now, I'm going to get a little personal here, but my family roots are deep in New Orleans. My great-grandfather was born in New Orleans. My grandmother was born in Louisiana, Plaquemines Parish, and my mother spent years in New Orleans. Throughout my life, I was told about these wonderful places and people, and Marie LaVeau's name was always mentioned. And this was also my first ghost story by my mother that she would share with me, which may be the reason I am the weirdo I am today. Now, my mother was working at the Beauregard Apartments that happened to be across the street from Congo Square, and she was painting the wrought iron of the building, and it was getting dark. So she packed up all her items, and she was leaving to pack up all her items. Sorry. And as she was leaving, she had to pass by Congo Square. She heard off in the distance drums being played. Needless to say, she made a hasty retreat home. Now, after that, she always left before dark. I kind of don't blame her, but I know how I am, and I think I might have investigated the noise, hid behind a tree and peeked at what it is or maybe, and it could just still be the spirits left behind, and nothing could be there but the beat of their long lost drums. Now, Louisiana is filled with many spirits of all kinds, seen and unseen, and kinds you can drink. And I really hope I get to visit the city that Care forgot. I'm intrigued by the lore and the legends. And if you have any stories of this magical city, please leave your comments, and I love to read them. Well, my ghouls, I hope you enjoyed this Halloween tale. Now go and have a frightful and boo-tiful night.